Hello everyone. When I make my videos, and as you would expect, I need to keep things organised in folders related to that particular project. But sometimes when I create those folders, I don't know for sure what the title of the video might ultimately be. So I need to give the folder at least a working title. Because free speech hasn't really been restored yet on social media platforms, it's unlikely that I'll use the working title. But the first working title that came to mind on this occasion was, in all honesty, Dumbest Woman Ever. She's just watched what happened at the White House with Zelensky, and this is her takeaway.
If you're American and for God knows what reason you still support Donald Trump.
Now I understand that she's just using a turn of phrase there, but straight away I see in that particular turn of phrase an unwitting admission that you're in a place where you're unable or unwilling to be able to think of a single good thing that Donald Trump has ever done or said. The immediate and only conclusion that a sane observer can reach is that she suffers from severe Trump derangement syndrome, a now widely recognised mental disorder. This observation is borne out by the fact that people who don't suffer from TDS are able to look at particular issues and weigh up what both sides are saying and come to some sort of percentage scale of how much bad and how much good their belief systems are. She's completely incapable of doing that, and that's because she feeds off irrational hatred, and possibly quite a few cream pies by the looks of it. Anyway, that's the long analysis. The short version is she's a complete moron, especially in light of what she's about to say and actually wanted to share with the world.
You should be massively ashamed right now of yourself, of your country, and especially your shoddy excuse of a president. The way that he has just spoken to Zelensky is horrific.
So this war where mostly men but also women and children are blown to bits, maimed for life, homes and possessions destroyed, infrastructure destroyed, I could go on. But according to you, Trump and Vance saying, no, we want the killing to stop, and this is how we're going to make it happen, and no, you're not going to just turn up on our doorstep again and demand money. Oh yeah, apparently that's the horrific part.
Not just him, but also the little arse weasel that is JD Vance.
Oh, so it is true that you can call someone an arse weasel online and not go to prison in England, just so long as it's the Vice President of the United States and not a Muslim. That's the way you operate, isn't it, Keir Starmer?
He and his fellow countrymen have been fighting relentlessly for the last 3 years after Trump's best mate Putin decided, oh, it's a nice day to take over another country.
Well, isn't that just the most preposterous and idiotic interpretation of the historically complex Russo-Ukrainian relationship that you've ever heard?
Some of the stories of the families who have had to flee the Ukraine, who are now currently living in the UK, it's just absolutely soul-destroying.
I'm guessing then that Zelensky's forced conscription of fathers, sons and brothers isn't on your radar as a reason some families might flee, or his consistent refusal to negotiate a peace, hence contributing to the continuation of the conflict, and now his refusal to sign the raw minerals deal that would ensure US support in the security of the country where those resources are, and effectively in the war. No, none of that responsibility falls on Zelensky's shoulders, does it? But I can agree with you on one thing. Escaping the rule of Zelensky only to live under the rule of Starmer would be pretty soul-destroying.
So for that absolute thunder cunt that is Donald Trump to say to Zelensky, you're not ready for peace, and basically taunting him and saying that he's the reason, or he's toying with people, millions of people's lives, and this is going to cause World War III.
I suppose there can be the thunder cunt that is Donald Trump, but then there'd also have to be the blunder cunt, chunder cunt, and blubber cunt that is you.
How incredibly, incredibly disrespectful, and shows just how little he actually knows about world politics. Or he knows everything, because obviously he's definitely in Putin's pocket. Zelensky sat there, calm, considered, diplomatic with his responses, whilst Beavis and Butthead were going at him. The most unpresidential behaviour I've probably ever seen. And I don't think that he's done all this just because he's up Putin's arsehole. I think it's because over the last couple of days, both Keir Starmer and Macron have absolutely owned him publicly, live in interviews.
Sorry, Flopsy, you didn't mean to say live in interviews. You meant to say lied in interviews.
Look, I said what I said, which is that we do have, of course, a special relationship with our friends in the UK and also with some of our European allies, but we also know that there have been infringements on free speech that actually affect not just the British, of course, what the British do in their own country is up to them, but also affect American technology companies and by extension American citizens. So that is something that we'll talk about today at lunch.
We've had free speech for a very, very long time in the United Kingdom, and it will last for a very, very long time.
English commentators like Dan Wooten applauded Vance for his courage, saying Keir Starmer just lied to the world's media in front of Donald Trump and JD Vance. Grandmas are in jail for Facebook posts.
Keir Starmer is a liar, you're a liar, so I can see why you identify with him so strongly. The irony is, of course, that when people like you and Starmer lie, you think you're owning people, yet the rest of us can see that you're just making yourself look like a complete idiot.
Showing him that he knows absolutely nothing about world politics.
No, love, I think I've found the person that knows nothing about world politics. The woman who doesn't even bother taking the towel off her head before switching the camera on.
And what do bullies do when they're humiliated? They find somebody else that they can take their anger out on. He is a weak, uneducated, narcissistic man.
So weak that after a bullet takes off a piece of his ear and escaping death by millimetres, he pumps his fist in the air in defiance of what he knows was an attempt to kill him. So uneducated that he has a bachelor's degree in economics. But you didn't know that, did you, Flopsy? Kind of demonstrates how uneducated you are on the matters on which you speak, doesn't it? Narcissistic? Yeah, probably, but then how narcissistic are you to spout such baseless crap and yet believe yourself to be an intellectual and moral superior to Donald Trump? I mean, really, a scrubber nobody with a towel on her head versus Donald Trump. Yeah, right.
And he just thrives off of status and attention. That man couldn't run a bath, let alone a country. So if you are American and you still support Trump, then probably not only will you be f***ing around and finding out, but sadly, I think possibly American forces too. Because if anybody's starting World War III, it's that twat.
Again, this exemplifies how stupid and incredibly dishonest people like you are. He's going to start World War III, is what you clowns said at the beginning of his first term. He didn't start World War III. In fact, quite the opposite. No new wars under Trump. Now, after proving you all wrong, you turn around and say he's going to start World War III. Seriously, you people are the biggest idiots on the planet.